All right, welcome. Sorry, a little late here. I didn't even realize. I just got started late, so just bear with me. Get this together here. Okay, so I'm actually I want to take a quick picture of the board, and I'll bring it over here so we can talk about it. Get a decent picture here. Okay. Real life stuff happening here today. Sorry about that. I'm also painting some wood project stuff that I had to make for the salon because we bought a salon. So I'm having to get it all figured out here. Let me share this to the screen because I want to talk to you guys more about that, which is what I wanted to talk to you about today. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the chat. You guys can unmute yourself. It's cool. I'm just a guy over here. Okay.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, awesome, man. Good to have you.
From Spain.
Good to have you. Rainer. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I got this. Let me open this up.
Listen, the timetable that appears in Skool doesn't reflect what you do in real time. So, no, because it says that today at 4, what did it say? At 9 a.m. CST, that's 4 p.m. Spanish time, and there was nobody there. So I guess you started much later.
No, I'm just having some schedule difficulties right now. It should be very on time going forward here. It's just been wild. There's nothing I can really do about it. You know, I just have to do what I can. I just got too many irons in the fire, if you want to be I just got a lot of irons in the fire, and I just end up being like 30 minutes late. I know it looks terrible. It's like the worst thing, you know, but
no, I thought it's just because I thought with the time conversion, I screwed it up. That's why.
No, it's not you. It's me. So I'm gonna, yeah. Okay, so let me get this down here.
Can I shoot away with one question already?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just excited to be. No, I'm just excited to be part of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's interesting the thought that you mentioned in one of your videos about how quickly somebody can convert to be a client, because I just caught myself that, because in one of the questions I asked you about the email marketing, and because I've been on email lists for years, and then it took 1.5 years later, I bought a product because and then there were some live sessions in the course that I bought, and I didn't know until last Thursday, I guess. And then the fact that you do live recordings like this one, you feel like it's like a real person behind it, so it creates trust quicker. Surprisingly, I bought without ever having received any email from you guys, No, I just caught myself and I'm like, fuck, this is pretty amazing. Because no, I just like, because maybe I'm different vibe, because I'm always working in sales also, and we tend to be more emotional in your purchasing, and some people maybe not, but it just made me question my underlying belief that I had before, and that you need to be on some email lists for years. And then you get into a class, and then they have Zooms in the class, and then you establish a relationship, and then you keep. So I just thought, fuck, this is crazy. That because I was following one guy which is called Chase, and I actually like this guy. He's a nice guy, and he puts everyone on the mailing list, and then he sells them courses, etc. But obviously, by emailing, it takes longer. No,
yeah, the relationship gap.
It's because what people want is real people in the end, the real person. People don't care about email. People just want to. I mean, what you're doing with me now, just like I mean, I know you're pitching constantly, but it's like creating connections to talk to somebody real.
Yes.
Like, this is such a isn't like, because, and you mentioned also in one of your last things, like interesting, like it's gonna get even worse because AI, automated videos. Why I'm coming up with this, because this guy who was following us, he created a platform or a software where you can create short videos done by AI. And they're looking okay. I'm not saying, but this is going to go with such a light speed in the future. They're going to set up one software after the other, and they're going to look more real than ever. They're going to look so amazingly real that people then don't know who is real anymore.
Yeah, you won't
like,
know if it's me or if it's some AI thing.
exactly it. They won't now it still looks strange or they don't look yet perfect. But let's just wait a few months. You're going to talk to someone and you haven't got a clue if it is a person or it's just some bot answering to you. So to somebody who actually responds to you, I say, how are you doing today? And you can ask, it's going to be exotic. Now, just think about in the future, the technology is going to evolve so quick that you won't know anymore. You get all these big corporations that has a bot answering their questions, questions you have,
Just everything.
everything. This is insane to be able to get somebody live. It's like that's the gem. That's the
Yeah.
value for it. And
I'm
that
glad you see it because I talk to a lot of people and they're always, listen, I've made a lot of money with email lists. And here's the thing, email lists work. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm saying I just in my threading and in my bones and also the fact that I'm actually already proving that you don't need those types of things. And for me, what I'm most like, what I'm most the thing for me is that throughout the years, the biggest jam up or where people had resistance was the technology. So that was the first thing. How can I remove all of this tech babble stuff to make it simple for somebody? Okay. Well, Skool came out and Skool combined everything together, but then they also stripped away all of these functions that were unnecessary, which a lot of people always say, yeah, but this program does this and this program does this and this and this. And I'm like, yeah, but you do not need those things. So therefore, just because it has a bunch of buttons, if you don't need the buttons or they're distracting, then it's actually working against you. If you want to do this type of business where you're turning your knowledge and advice into income, which I think is the most number one profitable thing that you can do, and it's the most bulletproof thing that you can do, because no matter what happens in the future, you can adjust, because we're basically taking complex ideas and subjects and topics and we're synthesizing them down into something that is actually comprehensible, and then we're selling that to someone and then supporting them on the backside of it. And the profits there, you can do this from anywhere. So in this business with Skool, and Skool's got a lot of things that are coming out yet that are just going to be mind bending, because they're going to make things even more streamlined and simplified, with simplification being the core principle inside of it. But then doing what I'm doing now, if I really get into it, I used to think like, oh man, so going live and servicing these customers this way and this way, oh my gosh, the time. Come to find out, I spend less time working now than I did before, when I had email lists, funnels, ads, all this jazz. Now, within, 2 hours, 4 hours, and I work more just because I'm launching something new. I'm creating a new product, just like what would anybody would do. But what's beautiful now is you can give people something that nobody else is giving people, which is this. This is just live action, and it builds the relationship, as you were talking about a moment ago, like that. And I was thinking about the email list, and I'm like, why would I have somebody, why would why would I wait 10, 15, 20 days to get the interaction that I can get in a few hours? And it's even more impactful because I actually get in there with them live. And then on top of that, you're actually helping people. You're servicing them. It's not something, when I had the emails and all of that, and I'm very good at that. I love it. I know I could set up an email list right now. I could set up an automation right now, and I could have all this happening. But Skool actually emails people for me, and they emails people what they actually want, which is an aggregate, or they basically take all the best posts and they put them together into a digest, and then they send it out. And then I can also, every 72 hours, I can make a post and send it to people. And I'm like, what would I need to say that I can't say every 72 hours and get the point across here? And it actually, because of the restrictions of not being able to just pump emails to people, it actually makes you a lot more resourceful, therefore more creative. And then when you do actually send something, it has more punch and pop than anything else, which then works better. But what I also love about it is the fact that that stays in the community afterwards, because I create that email and it just stays there for people to enjoy whenever they want. And then inside of the community, it's very transparent. How many members do I have? Well, go look. Am I lying to you? It's right there. How much are you making? Go look. You can see. I don't have to show you my wallet and all this stuff. You can see right there on the screen how many members I have. You can see how much I'm charging per month. You do the math. That transparency, on top of the fact that they can see that I'm there, I have a public community. You can see, is he there or not?
Creates credibility. It creates credibility, and that you can talk to somebody. I mean, I can't stress this enough, because this other guy who was following, he gets very excited about the AI generated videos that he can use as shots, and they're looking average. Some amazing, some poor. And the technology going to be so quick. In a few months, we won't know whether it's me sitting here, you sitting here. It's just like the voiceover and cloning voices and all this shit. And I thought, well, this is going to go crazy. I mean, this is just the beginning. Let's just
what will be interesting is to see when that does get to that point where, like right now, AI could be doing all this and it could just be a replica of me and you wouldn't know if it's me or not. And it'll be smart enough to where when you say something, it will be able to react to it. When we get to that point, it will be interesting to see what that turns in terms of like, then how do you do that in a different way? Because if you think about, just let's not pretend that where we're at now is not amazing. Back in the day when I first got started in this 15 years ago, there was internet and stuff, but it was not this. There was no Zoom. There was no like it is now. And, the automations and everything back then, they were nothing like they are now. And I mean, it was back then, just the simple email automations that could do this and this. If somebody did this, was like, oh my God. So it will always kind of recorrect itself, and it's going to be neat. It's always wild and crazy. I mean, if you get into this stuff, like, my God, it's all just if you can look at what's available and what's coming with AIs and just everything, if you don't have just even a itty bit of like, then I don't think you're actually a human. It's like pretty wild.
So I have so many questions. I was so lucky to get you here for a second. And just
give me one second. I gotta grab something. I'm about to swallow my tongue. I need my water.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry about that. That's another thing I love about this business is you can be yourself. When I was in network marketing, you couldn't be yourself. In network marketing, you always put on this thing, and it was very it wasn't that you were being dishonest. It was just you were being a little too excited or something. And then in most models, you can't really just be yourself. And here I love the transparency. I love everything about this, because you go to bed and you wake up feeling great, and you actually learn who you are, and then you end up actually helping people, and it just becomes more and more fun. And it takes a long time to get there. It feels like, maybe it was just for me, but most people going forward, I think they're going to be able to do better with that. I always said it's hard to be yourself.
Listen, just a question about the content generally, because people, sometimes I hear these questions coming, how do I make sure that this content, what I'm just saying, some people believe there are 3 stages of content. And when I see what you're doing, I don't think that exist anymore, because some people believe you have this content that is free outside when you're on YouTube, etc. Those free videos, then you have those community, which is level 1, and then you have the paid one. But in the end, what you're doing, correct me if I'm talking bullshit here, is those layers of knowledge, let's call it that way, of content does not exist at all. It's all a bloody mix in the end, because you're mixing the videos that, sorry, the content that is created by the users, me asking you something now, or you mixing them anyway up in all channels. In the end, what counts is not the videos, the content is more the live talking to you. So the real value doesn't really lie even in the courses anymore. It lies to interact and ask somebody this. Does it make sense? I mean, people always say, this content, should I share on the free one? Should I share that on the paid one? That kind of separation, it's a mental error. It doesn't exist at all anymore. Am I correct? Because in the end, the only thing that differentiates the free stuff from paid stuff is that you have access to somebody who is a real person, flesh and blood. You can ask something. Does this make sense?
That's a major part of it, but inside of the paid stuff, you're going to get more detail, you're going to get more structure, you're going to get deeper explanations and more click by click, step by step than you will in the free content. But what the big thing is to recognize, if you take something away from this today, is the time that you spend creating content that is pre-recorded and goes out. You could spend the same time going live and you'll get more trust, you'll get more connection, you'll get more likability, and you will speed up the connection process between you and the prospect in 100-fold. But even more is you can separate yourself from almost everything that's available out there by just simply going live, even in a free way, going live, and just, it's the same amount of time. And if you do it the way I teach, I record everything that I'm doing live so that I can then transform it into pre-recorded afterwards. Like, that's the whole point of the make once, like make it once and distribute or reuse it or repurpose over and over. So you make something once and it pays you forever. That's the whole idea behind it. And so if you do proper preparation, instead of spending all the time editing and fancy and all this stuff that you would normally be doing with all these connected softwares, you can have a simple software like Skool. Again, I'm talking about selling digital products on the internet, turning your knowledge into products and information and value, which is extremely profitable and extremely wanted and valuable today. And going forward, I mean, it's a knowledge thing, right? Like, if this is this helpful, yes or no, so it's going forward with that. The time that you would spend doing all this other jazz, now you can spend preparing so that when you go live, it can be something that can be left now as a recording and then redistributed, repurposed, and reworked to be the marketing. The red, blue, green that we see on the screen right now, these are not constructs of some theory or idea. If you're creating content, you need to be helping them see the big picture, because they don't naturally have that built into the idea. They're hearing something, they're trying to unwind it and then reconnect it with something else, but they can't necessarily see what you see with everything. I used to assume they could, but you have to help them put two and two together and connect those dots in each of the red, green, and blue. So people are always going to be in a place in the beginning where they're unaware. And then as they become more aware and they move down into the green, they start to try to decipher how do I do this? What's right? What's wrong? Where's this go? How does this, can I make this? They start to try to construct this. And then if you get them down into the blue, which is the A versus B, now that they understand that there is a solution to their problem, they understand that there is a process inside of this, that to get the solution. And then there'll be a certain percentage. It's typically about 1 to 5%. And over the years, I would say it's around 2 to 3 hits, like right in the middle. 2 to 3% of those people are going to want to speed up that process. They're going to want it faster, easier. They're going to want to go to somebody to get that to speed up, and they're going to want to purchase something that would make that faster so they don't have to spend the time. So the A versus B is where you're going to create content that is, here's what most people do. Here's how we do it. Here's why we do it this way. Here's, it's contrasting. It's like, do you get this truck or this pickup? It's like, well, this one has a longer bed. This one has better gas mileage. This one has more technology. So that's what the blue part is. And that's where they make the decision to buy. So if you're not creating content in the red, green, and blue levels, you'll never get them pulled down through. And people find and seek the information that they need so that when they come to your school, there's a search bar at the top. Like if you come into my school and you search something, anything, anything in regards to this business, something's going to come up either in the community or in the weekly calls or in the trainings or something. And then if you create when somebody joins your free school where the nurturing is going to happen, you should have something in the classroom that is like an onboarding, and then something that takes them through a simple process that essentially is taking them through the did you know how to in A versus B, but instead of segregating it out in time of you get it through email, okay, next day we're going to talk about the next thing. When they join Skool, they can just go all the way through it. They can get everything accomplished in one day, but then they're in there and they can talk to other people. And when people are on an email list, the reason they're on the email list is because they're all dealing with some sort of the same problem. So if you sell how to lose weight, then we can assume that everybody on your email list then would be people that want to lose weight. So if all of these people have a common denominator or a common theme amongst each other, keeping them in the dark from each other is just, there's no value to them or you in that way. Whereas if we put them together inside of a community, people with, pain is a connector. So if people are all dealing with this problem and they start communicating, you get emergence. And emergence is where two things by themselves can't get to a place that they can get to when they're together. But when they do that, you get this offshoot of information that now allows you to make really great products. It allows you to make really great content, and it streamlines and expedites the whole entire process, making your life easy. And you listen and you create and you move people along and you solve problems. And that's
Don't laugh about this question. This came up the other day. What happened if they talk bad about one thing of what you've done? Because they can talk now too. No, honestly, I thought now you make it so perfect. Everyone can talk to each other. What if they say something you don't want? You can't control it. No, I'm just joking. But this is a question. Like,
no, listen, let's hold
everyone
on
can talk
there.
to each other.
Like, that's going to happen with anything. I mean, people talk bad about, Apple products. People talk bad about Porsche. People talk bad about these things that are incredible products. And I think if you didn't have that happening in the community, or you didn't have that, it wouldn't be real. And I think you have to have some of that, because number one, your community will go in there and defend what is right, and also there's always going to be that, that you can't have up without down, you can't have on without off, how would you know which one is which? So it's just perfectly natural and human for that. And it actually gives you a basis to, talk about it and share and correct.
What happened? Have you ever had people who were complaining about being used? Let me explain this thought, because I never thought about this. But now, when people come in and ask you a question, like me now asking you something, indirectly, not directly, I'm helping you to create content. In the content process. So which means obviously you're going to use that in your channel setup. Have you ever had people saying, fuck, I just wanted to ask you a question, but now I realized I'm being part of your marketing machine? Because everyone does that. It's, I don't know, they're probably called a content creator. So we create our own content for those. So do you know where I'm coming from? Have you ever had something like, oh, but don't put me, or did you ever have somebody no, specific question. Did you have anyone like this after the session, not this one, as in the past, where somebody say, okay, but take me out, I don't want to be in there? Or is that part of the game that somebody, I mean, when you on Zoom, when you have a call, it says, obviously you have to accept that it's a recording. Did you ever have to explain this? It sounds a bizarre question, but it occurred to me, or people take it then for granted because that's the way it is nowadays. Does this make sense, my question?
I understand the question. So you're saying when people get on my free calls like this, and these are recorded and then the replays are put back inside of the, the community where we're nurturing leads and turning them into sales and things like that, do people say, hey, take me out of that? I don't want to be on that. I don't want to be a part of your marketing. The thing that I want them to know up front, and they should know that it is recorded, and that if you're joining, then you're saying I'm okay with that. And so
No, I don't care in this case, but I'm just
no,
saying.
I know you don't.
But,
it's a very
but I can
valid and
I
great
can see
question. I've
somebody.
never had that problem.
You never. This is interesting. You never had this, no?
Mm-mm.
Nobody
I've
saying.
never had anybody come to me and say that. Most of the time, they actually enjoy the exposure, and most people want that significance. They want that up front like that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I don't want to monopolize but that's cool.
One thing that has helped me is trying as much as possible to just be as brutally clear and transparent and just completely open with what I'm doing, because I really actually do care about you succeeding. I don't know what much more to care about. I care about my loved ones. I care about my family. I care, my mom, my dad, everybody. But outside of that, I care the most about my species survival and freedom and mental clarity and well-being, because if I can help other people reduce stress, reduce anxiety, increase their power, and increase their freedom, it's a better world for me to live in too. And it's just actually caring. And I never really in the beginning looked at it so much like that, because it was more about financial survival. But then when you get to a place of financial survival, your brain kind of goes into a different place. And then when you're always coaching and helping people, it keeps going to that place even more. And then for me, it just snaps into it and you can't get out of it. And you become very like, almost everything that I create, all the content, everything that I do, you become almost entirely philanthropically minded, but you also want to get rewarded for your time, because I'm spending something I can't get back. And it's also just you being so clear and honest and just straightforward. People feel it. Like, people say to me all the time, man, I can just tell you're such a real person. It's finally somebody's like authentic and real. And I think all of us are, but there's something weird that happens when we go to present ourselves in a quote unquote professional position. And this is what happens, where there's a book or something, philosopher, where they call it the multiple masks. Like, the way you are around your wife and kids is different than the way you are around your friends, is different the way you are around the office, the way you are in sports or driving down the road. I've been really trying hard to just be the same one mask, if you will, and it's me. And the more I just let math and effort, play out, it just seems to be the better thing. And people just you're not going to attract people that don't feel you and like you. I have some people get on and they say, well, I'm just, I'm worried that if I create something, like somebody else that wants to make money, sell how to make money, for instance. Okay. First off, it's an industry, so come on in. Okay. Anybody can be here doing this, just like anybody can teach basketball if they want. You wouldn't feel weird teaching the same basketball drills as some other coach. But they come in here and they think, well, people are going to, Alex Hermosi going to see my posts and he's going to be like, look at that goofball, or, who does he think he is? He ain't watching your If you already know how to tie your shoe, you're not going to go buy a course on how to tie your shoe. You ain't going to watch content about how to tie your shoe. You're not even going to it won't even come into your radar. So whatever you're teaching, whatever you're helping people figure out, get them from point A to point B, which is how you're going to make money. If the person already knows that stuff and is understood in it, they're not coming to watch your stuff. You're not going to go back to high school, are you? You're not seeking out how to do 1+1. So people aren't even going to see that stuff unless they do want to learn that. And in that case, then you're perfect for them and you don't have to worry about those things.
Does one have to feel bad about being in the make money niche? Why I'm saying this? Because I remember various situations in the other course I was doing about the of generating videos. There were people telling me that their views were shut down because they were talking. I think it was on TikTok. I can't remember TikTok. And those videos were suppressed when weren't even allowed because it was everything about get rich or make money was kind of not even allowed. That was one comment. And then I remember from the email platform Systema.io when ChatGPT came out, one were not allowed to use the word ChatGPT because it was considered bad. I can't remember why.
Yeah.
So I am not. Sounds like kind of more a question. Don't you feel bad? No, asking myself this question. Does one have to feel bad about the fact that one talks? I mean, yeah, an American, you're kind of more direct than Europe and like British, but isn't that then something that has a negative connotation to it that one should or never should? That's what I'm asking. It's a mean question, sorry, but it just pops out now. Should one have to feel bad about this or not?
I mean, I understand what you're talking about, because money has this, money's the root of all evil and all of these things. And I had that feeling in the very, very, very beginning. I didn't have a choice what industry I was really going to go into just because I couldn't do the job thing. And I tried a bunch of things, working for people, and it didn't work. Like I grew up farming. I grew up very independent working. My mom had her own business. My grandpa had a farm. My grandma had a business. My uncle, it was like, you're going to college. Like, why would you do that? That was how it was around my place. It's like, you can make way more, just, get a product or something. So I grew up in that type of thing. But what was interesting is when I learned how money was actually made. I used to think rich people were these like, somebody, they were like screwing somebody. It was like greed and, careless and all these things, right? That was like kind of how did people get rich? And when I realized that the only way to truly and actually get money was by solving problems, then I recorrected my perspective to the fact where it was, wait, so people that are poor, they're not solving problems for people. That's why they don't have money. And so I was like, interesting. So people that have lots of money, they have figured out how to solve problems for lots of people. And the bigger problem that they solve, the less people they have to serve because they can charge more because the value's higher in solving a more intricate or big problem. Whereas if somebody's selling, let's say, toothpicks, they have to sell, millions of toothpicks to make the same as somebody that would maybe solve, diabetes or something like that, right? So the thing that I started to wrap my head around was, wait a minute, you don't make money by focusing on money. You make money by focusing on what makes money, which is solving problems. So when one person has a problem and another person has the solution, when those two come together, the exhaust fumes from that is money. The output is money. So there I was like, wait a minute, I want to be a trillionaire because that means that I've solved tons and tons of problems. And so I shifted my thinking and I started to express this more, and people got on board with it, which is they should, because it's actually what's happening is you can't make money unless you're solving problems. And some people come to me and they say, well, what about people, that are, strippers or something like that? How are they solving problems? I'm like, well, that person has a sexual desire. They go to the strip club and they pay the stripper to release that sexual desire or get that taken. It's a problem solution thing. Or what about people that donate money? Well, somebody had to create a foundation to solve the problem for the person that wanted to donate to the world and make things better. I've been paying charities for a long time and I feel, great about a lot of reasons to do it. So the thing that my brain changed, and I was like, helping people make money. When people have more money, they do less drugs. When people have more money, they have less anxiety. There's less depression. There's less fighting and arguments, less stress. And I was like, wow. So it became, then I'm really making a huge and incredible impact here. Talking about money to me solves a lot of health problems. It solves a lot of mental problems. It solves a lot of world problems. The reason that there's tension anyway is a power struggle. It's a money struggle. So when I changed it to the idea of, hey, let's help people make this money. And let's show them how to turn their knowledge into income. So they're going to actually make money by educating people. And I thought, wow, what a double whammy there. We're making people more power, less anxiety, more ability. You can help more people rich than you can poor, and we're increasing their knowledge. So, whew, how could this make a ripple?
No, I like the way of thought, and just there are ways to express it, and you taking the direct approach, which talks to me, otherwise I wouldn't be here. You talk about making money in a very direct approach, but one could not disguise that, one could sell it also by a way of generating leads, and only talking about that from the business angle, which is the same thing in the end, just different terminology. But one could use different terminology, and just wondering, do you do that explicit, purposefully, that you do you do this because one could say just lead generation machine, generating contacts. One could name it 1,000 different ways, but just fascinating that you're using the most direct. Everyone gets this. There's nobody else that understands making money. I'm just saying, is that done on purpose because it's more emotional, or do you do this because it kind of appeals? Because there's some people probably put off, who wouldn't even, they would switch off your video in a second then, because there are people who don't like that at all. For me, I'm coming from sales, I'm selling insurances, and I'll talk about another moment. It's like, it's part of life, but there's some people who don't want to hear that at all. That feels like dirty. Like you talked about this, like sex. It's like, honestly, it's sort of like, this is something you can't say this. It's like, it's as if you would be selling sex. Yeah, they actually feel it like this.
So
anyway, I don't want to monopolize.
No, these are incredibly great questions, and I hope more people ask questions here today. So the one thing that I can say on that is, when it comes to actually doing this full time and being able to generate something, not hope it works out, you have to boil it down to the very core base principles, like first principles thinking, where you take things down to their absolute core of what they are and then reconstruct them. In order to actually generate income consistently and to be able to do this using essentially content and communication, you have to get down to those levels. You have to get down to the levels and talk about it as it is, because you can't, without understanding the root math and science behind it, you're unable to do it, because you have to work with human brains. And so if by talking this way, it deters some people, then that's actually good, because if you're actually communicating properly and your message is core and you're being transparent, clear, direct, and in hopes of helping them across the gap, by you being completely clear, it should deter the wrong people and it should magnetize the right people, because we can feel what is real. We have this bullshit detector as humans. It's what's kept us alive for so long. And we can sense when something is off. And so by getting to the clear root and truth and mathematical facts about it, if you will, then that's the only way. So when I talk about it in these ways, saying the word sex or sexual, if we get to the root of it, it's what it's called when two humans interact in that way. So if that offends you, it just shows me that your brain isn't there yet. And I'm not saying you directly, but people out there. So by being completely clear, you're actually doing yourself and your members a favor, because they're here because they're attracted to you in some way. Like, you will never attract people to you that are not a good fit for you if you're being completely true and clear with yourself. It's called the mirror principle or something like that in psychology, where you'll identify in others what you know. So it's by being clear and straight and talking about it. That's the actual truth. And then that's the reality. And so it does the job of, and another thing is this: you only need 1,000 true fans. I mean, if 1,000 people give you $70 a month, okay, so $2 a day roughly, you're considered ultra wealthy in the United States. So and I don't know where everybody is financially that is on here, but it seems like after you pass a consistent 30,000 a month, you tend to have a lot left over unless you're being irresponsible. But after, at 30,000 a month consistent, you can pretty much satisfy most of your urges, right? You can have a nice home, you can wear nice clothes, you can have a nice vehicle, you can
You
go to
answered the question.
places.
I appreciate it. Thanks a million. I don't know, monopolize. I think somebody asked the question too, but I really want to say thanks. Okay.
Yeah, no, listen, I appreciate the questions.
I want to work with you. You will see.
Okay, so good. I'm excited. I mean, you're a sharp guy, I can tell. So, hi, Mike. Can I also ask you some questions? Yes. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening, guys.
Hello.
I call you from Europe, from Croatia.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I remember this name.
Thank you.
I remember
Thank you.
names, and I love being able to see faces. I like talking to you just as much as you get to talk to me. It's awesome. Anyway, go ahead.
I can imagine it, Mike, because I also have a online course, and I have a rule when I make my workshops. Everybody must be there with the camera open.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the start for the guys it's tough. Somebody don't want to be with the camera, but I appreciate your focus. When you make a session, and I think it's very important when you receive the feedback and the energy back that you see guys really there. He listened to me and not maybe look a game or look on his mobile phone or make a call. They can do it, but it's good to have it. Yes, my question was and is about the package of the Make Once Pro. Few of things you really explained great, but I just want to ask again. You mentioned that you also make some promotion for all your members when they join the package. I just don't understand on which kind you would do this, and on which profile or on which where you will or how you think to do this,
Yeah.
on which platform. The right word is on which platform you plan to do this.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. So when people join Make Once Pro, I'm going to allow them to, this is the older version, but it'll look the same, but I changed this to creating content. This is going to be about content. So these three courses, one's going to be about content, which is this one, and then one's going to be about memberships, and then one's going to be about the profit loop model. So these are going to unfold with time as things are going. I already, this is an old version, but at least we can see it here. And this actually has changed. I thought I'd go to 19 a month. I don't know. I like having nines in the price. So the thing that's going to happen here is I'm going to give people these courses. So when they sign up for Make Once Pro, I will continue to update these courses. But when they join, if they are paying for Make Once Pro, so they're paying either $149 a month or $999 a year, then they will have access to these courses and all the updates. Okay, so if they get these courses, and I'll explain how I give them to you, but if they get these courses and they don't stay with Make Once Pro, then they won't have the updated versions, which is going to cause a problem for them down the road, obviously, because people are going to want that. You'll be able to sell these, and I even changed the prices of them. I went to $199 here just because I went back and looked at all of the prices over the years, what sold the best, and I adjusted them accordingly. So let's see, what was it? I think this was $399, and then I've got this one here at $699. So they're going to be able to, when you get, like when you join Makes Once Pro, I'm going to give you a file that has these 3 courses in it at the state that they're in when you join. You'll then, and they'll be completed in their form, but they're just going to continue to evolve like products need to do to stay current. These 3 products, you'll instantly be able to start selling for the prices that I have them listed at, and you get to keep 100% of the profit. The problem that people will have is that they are not going to know how to service these people because they didn't A, make the product, and B, most likely the reason they're selling these products to begin with is because they don't have a product themselves to sell. So in this way, then I'm going to service the customers here for $19 a month. So that's what it is. Your customer, they come over. If you want inside, if you want to get on the weekly calls for the Ignite call, the Elevate call, and the Apex call, whoever wants to be on those calls, it's just $19 a month. If you want to be on them, if they want to be on them, it's $19 a month. Okay. So I think that that's more than fair. That's, you know, way less than $1 a day to get access to these things. So you will get you're going to get, and I'll show you here. So there'll be a weekly call for Elevate, and anybody that has the Elevate program, they can get on the call and they can get their questions answered. The way I have it set up is if somebody buys Elevate, they get Ignite included. So you could pay $199 and get this one. You could pay $399 and you get both. If you buy Apex at $699, you get all 3. So it's the better deal, right? It's buy all 3, get all 3, get on all 3 calls. If you're in Make Once Pro, you're going to get 6 calls a week with me. Now, if you can't get to where you're going, spending 6 hours a week with me live, then maybe this isn't for you, you know? But I give this to you and I allow you to resell it. And there's some self-serving elements inside of this, right? So it's obviously me and all of the products. So if you're selling these products and then people are coming to join this to get the service on the live side of it, then it's all me. So I'm just exponentially growing my brand. It'll just grow faster. Most people don't care who's in the course. As long as the course is accurate, it works and it solves the problem. And I also have another group that's going to be coming out that's going to be even higher level. That's going to be like $299 a month instead of the $149 a month with Make Once Pro. And that one's going to go into being able to have more products to sell. A lot of what we have to do in monthly things is we have to have scenarios of retention. So one way to create retention is to create something that only happens if you're a member. So there's some things that I'll be teaching in the profit loop model that shows how to do that with Skool. So when you join Make Once Pro, you will be getting access to all of these products right out of the gate. So you won't have to pay the $699, the $399, or the $199, but that's what you can turn around and sell these for, as long as you're a member. Now, a lot of people I know are going to come in and they're going to think that they're, you know, going to just take it and do all these different things with it. And that's fine. Go ahead. Just know that, you know, if you recreate the product or do whatever with it, then, you know, the service side of it's going to get messed up too. And then you're going to have a problem with your customer because they're going to go, what's going on here? Okay. Service to the customers. So somebody said, what do you mean to service the customer? So it's kind of like, and I'll come back to you here. How do I say your first name?
Mirsad.
Mirsad.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So in light of messing it up, I'm going to call you MK for a little bit until I can get it figured out. Okay. Until I can get it down, because I don't want to keep saying it wrong too. So when somebody gets a digital product, like one of the biggest problems with digital products that are just one-off products is they don't have proper customer service. They don't get the things that fill in the gaps that the course just will never really be able to cover, because some of it is so nuanced. So when somebody buys these products, they don't have to join this $19 a month, but you know, for the price of a pizza each month, you can get in there and actually talk to me about each one of the courses, and it's going to allow them to get those gaps filled in that are in between everything inside of a course. You know, a course can only do so much. And then there's real questions and there's Q&A and things like that. And I want a place for the people that are going through this. It's so important that you have an environment around you that is in service of this, because the normal life out there that's not entrepreneurial is very different. And the perspectives and the belief patterns and things are very dominant in an opposite way of entrepreneurship. It's very consumer driven versus producer driven. And if you are around that, which we're around the non-entrepreneur life more than the entrepreneur life, it will get with you and mess with you. And
A lot.
yeah, it's very difficult to guard your. I mean, at the end of the day, you're defenseless against it. You know, if you're around, even if you know nothing about tennis, if you hang out with tennis players all day, just hanging out with them because you have to, you're going to learn about tennis whether you like it or not. So our environment is so critical, and so that's why it's, you know, I have this evolution just.
The average of 5 rule. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why when I say service, I think every digital product should have a service element to it. So that's what I mean by that.
One more question. When
Yes.
you joined the Make Once Pro package or membership, you also have a lifetime membership, and you can join all the new updates. What will happen?
Yeah, so this is why I'm not like going crazy promoting the lifetime. I mean, I mention it each time just because it's there, you know, I'm going to mention it, but it's not very set up. When I created it in this way, it was prior to the innovations that I've came to with this. And so it for somebody to get everything that they're going to get and only have to pay one time, it's not in my favor at all. It doesn't. If we get into physics here, it makes zero sense. So that's why I'm being very light about it. And that's why I don't think people quite understand the severity of like the value that you get. I mean, you can pay me $9.97 one time and you're going to get lifetime access to me with the calls. You're going to get lifetime access to the workshops, to the updated products, to members marketplace. Like I have this members marketplace that I let you put your product in and I run ads to it for you. So I'm literally pouring money back into you. If you're paying me monthly or yearly, makes a lot of sense. I'm just giving some of the money back to you in the form of advertising. But one-time investment, it just over time, it just I'm dripping out. So, but it's like I said, there's only 2 days left for people to join this. So, you know.
Yeah. But it give you fuel. It give you fuel for the start and for I think really loyalty members.
Yeah.
I know when I start my online coachings and education, I really appreciate the people which was with me on the first year, which give you really the energy and the fuel to go through everything. And yes, I think that's some of the benefit what you give.
Yeah, I mean, I've been building this.
What they receive.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I've been building this for, you know, I've been doing online for a long time, almost, you know, almost 2 decades here soon. So it's, you know, I've had a lot of memberships. It was a lot more difficult when we didn't have Skool. You know, I've done a lot of those things. I've made quite a bit. You know, I've done high ticket, I've made low ticket work. I've made, you know, I really like this model and I'm really focused. I would say probably from here forward, just creating continuity because, you know, selling high ticket packages from 10 to 20 grand, it's great. Wow, made 20,000 today or something. But it doesn't, you know, then you have to do it again and then you have to do it again. Whereas here, I can focus more on just making my product ultra good over the years. Kind of like I always call it the 911 principle, but like, you know, the Porsche 911, they've been building that same car for 50 years and look at the thing. I mean, it's like it's in a fine engineering, like it's one of the greatest things ever created as far as vehicles. And that came from focus. And I feel like when you are trying to keep people in the sense, not just like keep them for the money. Yeah, that's great. But you also want to keep them because they want to stay and it's more valuable for them to be a member than it is to not be a member. That is only going to come through building something extremely focused. And so I love it. I've got a lot of people in there that, you know, been with me for a long time. And yeah, I can't tell you, this business here is probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I've done a lot of different businesses over there, physical products, physical locations. Um, I've sold a lot of services that were digital, like, you know, agency stuff and you know, I used to literally drive 2 hours to go meet with clients, video them for all day, and then come back and have to edit everything and then put it up and do ads and all that for $2,000 a month, you know. Crazy. Like, but it's where I got the, you know, it's where you learn. And I don't regret any of that. If anything, I'm grateful as ever for that stuff. So I say that because some people, they don't want to do that part. And I think it's almost sometimes essential. I think anymore it can, you know, with technology and our access to resources and things like that, you have to be a very good reporter. You have to be a good researcher, but you also need to have the ability to bring people in and help them after the fact too. It's not just teaching, it's also servicing too. And I'll tell you what, yeah, right now I'm burning the candles at both ends because I'm creating a lot of, you know, my product is very deep and extensive. You know, there's a lot, like inside of a Porsche, there's a lot of little moving parts in there, you know, the dash, the brakes, you know, all that stuff. So I'm getting this car together.
Yeah.
So, but once it gets moving, you know, you can spend 2 to 4 hours a day and it doesn't have to be all at once. And you have a 7-figure recurring income. And I don't know. It's almost like pinch me a lot of times. And I'm not being hypey when I say that. It's taken a lot of work. There's stress involved. You know, there's a lot of mind power going on, but God dang, it's worth it. Like, holy crap. And if you can get with somebody that can speed that up for you, you know, what is that worth?
Or when you see the performance, what they do after working with you, that's great. When you see the development of the member.
Yeah. So the member marketplace, how does that work?
Yeah, that will be
Yeah,
interesting.
so with the member marketplace, and I'll talk about the emerging leaders thing here too. Let's just go into the product. I think that'll be better. So inside of Make Once Pro, you can see the new classrooms getting ready. So start here is the onboarding, and then you'll have module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then here's the member marketplace. This is the wealth workshop, insider access, then the live pro replays, emerging leaders, resource library. This start here will go away. Build lab will stay in there. That's like how to do funnels, email lists, things like that. And then the pocket coaching I do that every day. And I update that every day. Resource library has all my stuff in it.
You have two accounts on Skool.
Yeah, I have
correct?
4 actually. So the other ones aren't available, but the 2 I have, this one here is, this is how I generate leads. See, I found you. I found this group from
I know.
school. I want a business, biggest challenge, friends. This lady right here, by the way, do not let her into your community ever, ever, ever. She is a marketer and she'll
It's
just
10.
destroy.
I see.
So
I know. It's
I
10.
ban her from the group. Okay. But
Mhm.
this is my free community. So this is like, you can think of this as like an email list or something. But this is where I come in here, and this is the nurturing, the trust building, the connections, and then the pro is, where we're talking about now. And then this elite is, I just put the other products in here for now, but they're going to be inside of pro. And then the elite is going to be a little bit different. The elite is, and I'll explain it to you in the profit loop model, but the elite is essentially where whenever I create front end offers to bring people into the program, I give those to you automatically so that you constantly have an ongoing library of products that you can choose from. And I'm going to even let you manipulate them to your own liking, because it's just going to speed up the process for you. At the end of the day, in basketball, it's dribble, pass, shoot, defense, right? In this game, eventually it gets to be the same way. It's like attract, convert, deliver. So if I can speed that part of the process up for you and let you redesign it, it's kind of like, here's a white label car. You can form it however you want from there. Like here's a motor. Here's the frame and the wheels and everything to make the car work. Now you can shape it and color it how you want, right? So anyway, back to the marketplace. Let me just share here. The marketplace, what will happen in here is everybody that's a member inside of the member marketplace, everybody that's a member inside of Make Once Pro, as long as they're paying their monthly or yearly membership, then they can put their product in here. And I will then, so once it's in here, everybody inside of Make Once Pro can see their offer, and they can link to their school. They can link to their product pages, whatever they're selling. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the member marketplace. I'm going to duplicate this looking thing here, and it will get duplicated over into the free community, and it will live inside of this classroom here. And then I'm going to, because this is a public community, I'm going to run ads to the classroom itself. So like when you click on, let's say like the pocket coaching, I could, let's say that I just click on, the pocket coaching classroom here. If I go in and just click on it, then I can run ads to this link right here. And then people show up to this page, and it's going to show in these sidebars over here. Just imagine all these. This is like your page. You get to put a video in here. You get to put a link to your offer down here, etc. And then that way, I'm helping you make money as well. So, and it also works as an attractant to my free school, which brings in people. So it's good for everybody. And
You will charge this? You will make some charging about that, or you have some package?
no, I'm going to leave
or-
everything free, but I'm going to run ads to it so that people they'll have to buy your thing to get it, but you're going to get traffic to it. I'm going to run what will end up happening most likely down the road is more people that are going to come to me are going to be people that actually just want to teach and talk about how to make money online. That'll be it'll slowly filter itself out, and it'll become that. And that's probably who I'm ultimately best suited to help anyway, because that's what you can use this to sell any kind of course, but it'll generally become that. It's just kind of the nature of the beast, but that's how I'm going to do that. And it's, again, it's a retention thing. So if somebody stops paying that's why the lifetime is so like ridiculously, why it's such a good offer, because it's like,
lifetime is a no-brainer.
yeah, I mean, right now, like if you get it, it's just, so, but anyhow, if they're not a monthly or yearly member, then I take their product out of there. And the goal is, if I'm a member of Make Once Pro, either monthly or annually, I make more money being a member than I do if I'm not, because Mike's sending traffic to me, Mike's exposing me to people. And then the emerging leaders that I have in here, this one here, as you do good inside of Make Once Pro, like you start, maybe you get to, 6 figures, 7 figures, I interview you, and then I put you inside of here as something that somebody can watch later, and I let you link to your offers. Well, then what I do with those is I put those over into the free school, and I also put those on my YouTube channel, and I run traffic to those as well to help you get like independent traffic. So it encourages you to want to do really well and then post your success inside of here, because your success is going to lead to more success, because I'm going to promote you, which also promotes me. And it's a two birds with one stone, but everybody's coming out great at the end. It's a win-win for everybody. So that's another thing that that does.
Mike, a quick question about the modules, the Build Lab. Can I forget Build Lab if I want to concentrate on Skool exclusively and the new things that you bring in? Because Build Lab, you told me, is going about back the old system about creating mailing list, landing page, etc. So it's better not to even worry about this and just concentrate on the new stuff, correct?
Yeah, some people, they love Build Lab, and they love, they have that system set up, and they've got, that system works great, but there's just more parts to it. And to me, it's a bit slower in the conversion process, ultimately, because of what we talked about at the beginning of this call. So, but it's there for it's still a very viable option. And for some people, it's necessary because of the way that their business works. I have people that have like physical location businesses that use, those types of things for, instead of, doing Skool. But yeah.
Perfect. Answered. Thanks a million.
Mm-hmm.
I see some older I think I see some older promotion video for the one Make Once Pro. There you have a option for also for Klarna payment. Is it not available anymore, or
Yeah, I mean,
maybe,
it should be. If I open link,
or it's just in Europe not available? I don't know.
yeah, it's if you're not in the US, Klarna doesn't work, which I'm not sure why, but that's the case there. Yeah, I know it kind of sucks, but I don't know, just the way they do it. But yeah, no, it's, in either way, like if you get in and you get on the calls and you're working with me and you're working focused on this.
No, it's a great.
You just, I mean, everything pays for itself. It's like a write-off. It's like, being a part of Make Once Pro on a monthly, or yearly thing, like it's just a tax write-off. You can write it off as marketing and promotion and learning and things like that. So it's a write-off. So that's good. And write-offs become pretty important when you start making a lot of money, when you see how much you give away. But, it's these things that we're talking about in here, like the cost of the program and all of that. If you really get to work on it, it's like a food bill or something. It's like nothing, I mean, so you start making, you get 1,000 people giving you $100 a month. I mean,
no, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's really a great opportunity for everybody. To go on the shortest and fastest way to receive your experience and your knowledge.
Yeah, and we grow together too. I mean, it's I can't stress, when to me, a membership is all about mastery. And when you get in there and you start growing together with people, I learned so much from you on these calls. When we get on here, it's like, that's why I love doing the group call thing. It's, you learn so much together. And it's like, again, it's that emergent factor. It's Jeff Olson used to always say, he wrote the book, The Slight Edge. If you haven't listened to that or read that, that's a big time one. I was talking to him. He rented an entire cruise ship out. I think it was like Royal Caribbean or something. He rented the whole boat, which God only knows how much that was. But I was standing at the little walk-up bar thing there, and he was talking to me about that. And he's like, and there was a line of people behind me just waiting to talk to this guy. He was like, so he couldn't even walk anywhere. And it was like, took him an hour to go to the bathroom just walking because people stopping him. He said, two minds create the third more powerful mind. And he said, when we get these events together, and he goes, the reason I put this big cruise ship together is, he goes, something happens in here amongst us all that none of us are realizing is happening, or that they know is going to happen. But this third mind happens. And he goes, it happens collectively amongst us all. He goes, if we're all thinking about the same thing and we're all focused on trying to do the same thing, when we get together, all of us bring together something that creates this third more powerful thing, which is also kind of like a Chat GPT AI-ish kind of thing, like what's happening there, which is kind of scary too in certain ways. But you bring this mind together, and that's where the real magic happens on these things, where everybody's pulling a different way, but it's all towards one point. And so we get really smart. And that's why masterminds, I mean, I can't tell you the growth that I've had when I go to a mastermind, like when I'd meet with Frank Kern or Brennan Burchard or, Grant Cardone. You get in there and it's like, I don't know, like you change so fast, and things that were so almost invisible to you are like common. I can do those now.
Mike, the problem about the niche about make money is the problem that newbies have about their own credibility. Imposter syndrome. What do I mean by that? It's like, if you want to teach, I don't know, if you're learning yourself now, okay, what I'm saying, when you're starting at square one at the beginning, you can't talk as cool as you talk about, I've made so much, because you're a nobody. So how do you sell being a nobody? I'm using the exaggerated terminology to say, I kind of frame this now, I'm going to show, it's like my diary of what I'm doing, and I haven't figured it all out. That's how I'm going to pitch this, but follow me, because you will see what I'm doing and you can learn from that. And I'm going to concentrate on building the audience only, because I'm not brave enough to sell it yet. But I'm just thinking, the problem is for us, how do we talk? Because you talk about this like so cool, because you have already a history that you can talk about. But all you new ones that join you, they haven't got that luggage. So that big sign making the first dollar, that honestly, the first year, that is the biggest problem, because we don't believe it ourselves yet.
So,
and I don't know how to frame it. Yeah, this always boils down to this.
I totally understand this. I went through this myself, and I just went about it the wrong way when I got started, because I tried to do everything myself without buying coaching and stuff. I was like, oh, I'm smart enough, I can figure this out through videos and stuff. When you first start talking about, if you're excited about entrepreneurship and you want to teach people how to make money, but you haven't made any yourself, to go out there and market something saying, here's how to make money, and you're not making money yourself, you feel like a complete fraud. So what happens is, instead of going, like, if I had to go back and do it again, what I would do is I would do it completely different. And I would say, I'm starting this business XYZ.com or Skool, whatever. Okay. And I want to teach people how to sell products online and sell digital products and how to make money using the internet. Now, I myself am brand new and I haven't made any money yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm creating this thing called Pocket Coaching. And it's $29 a month, so it's less than $1 a day. And what I'm going to do is every single day, as I'm learning and I'm plugging in with my mentors and I'm testing different things, I'm going to report back to you each day and give you a video that shows you what I'm learning about making money. And I'm going to go out and try to interview and connect with other people that are also doing this in a successful way. And I'm going to take all the time and energy so you don't have to. And I'm going to bring together the very best findings that I know are working. And then as I start to make money, I'm going to keep you on board and show you my numbers each and every day so that you can see if it's working or not. And together we can grow faster, because maybe while you're working or maybe while you're trying to figure this out, I'm going to spend extra effort and do the work for you to bring these things together and streamline it. So that's why I'm selling this $29 a month. I'm not telling you that I'm rich. I'm not telling you that I'm famous. I'm not telling you I even know how to do this. But if you want to join me along that journey, and I'll tell you what, going out there like that and talking like that with ultimate transparency, people will fall in love with you and they will come along that journey, and it'll be the most powerful thing you ever build. You will have such a neural network of like, you will have deep rooting people that will watch you expand and grow, and they will learn more from watching you grow, because you'll be the leader. You'll be a few steps ahead of them because you're already in this design of creating something that they then want to create, and you will have an audience for life. You will have people that will, you know, go to any extent to support you and help you. I mean, it is the best way to actually build. And so that's what I love about it. It's like, if you have imposter syndrome, it's because you are saying something that you know is not true. But if you just go at it with pure naked, start naked with them and say, listen, I have not made $1, but I'm asking you to come with me, and for $1, less than $1 a day, 29 bucks a month, I will come back to you every single day with a video and share everything that I've learned. This is going to save you so much time, number one. Number two, you're going to be able to see, is it working for me? How's it working for me? So that you can take the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you can decide for yourself, and we can work together and grow together. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to have to re-listen this twice. No, because it is a mental issue, because you feel like you're lying to yourself. It's a fundamental, it's a quite a profound issue, because you don't feel coherent. You don't feel coherent with yourself. And I think if you turn it, I'm going to listen to this speech what you just given. This is beautiful, because you can be honest with yourself and can be honest with those ones who watch you. You don't have to pretend to be somebody you are not. And that is worth a lot.
You feel so amazing when you build a business that way. You feel so, when you wake up, you're more excited. When you go to sleep, you're so excited because you get to actually just be yourself, and you don't have to get in a hurry. You don't have to put on some front or face or something. You can just be where you are, but it inspires people. You're casting vision, which is the most important thing ever. Is look what I'm doing. Look what you can literally enjoy watching it grow with them and say, look, this is what I made today, doing these things that I've been talking to you about that I found. Look what I'm doing. And everything is so transparent. And I can't tell you how powerful that it is. The best way to do the business.
No, it's transparent. You used to, because since Skool, you can see how many members the group has. Since they know how much you charge, you can't lie either. This is quite nice, actually, yeah, because you can't pretend to be somebody you're not. Anyway,
yeah, and that's why I like Skool so much too, because it's like right there, you know, like you can't, you know, people can say, well, oh, I'm making so much a month, and it's like, yeah, but with Skool, if somebody's like, well, this is how much I'm making a month, it's like, well, that's how much he charges. That's how many members he has. Do the math. Oh yeah, he's being honest. So, you know, you can see it right there. And I love that. I think that that's the way it should be, you know? And so I want people to know that if you want to teach people how to make money and you've never made money, that's fine. Just tell people that you're excited about it and you want to get to that point. And anybody that wants to begin with you now and wants to come along that road, It's $29 a month. It's less than $1 a day. And I'm going to give you every day a report on what I'm making, what I'm doing, so that you can do it with me. But I'm out there saving you the time and the energy and the research, and I'm gambling with my own well-being in terms of like what I'm doing, if it works or doesn't work, and you can learn along with that process. And that is going to, that will beat any audience out there. I mean, you could run ads and build an audience of 1 million people. But if you have an audience that you built from that standpoint up to 1,000 people, that will destroy a 1 million person audience. Those people will be in it. It's the best honest thing to do.
It sounds too honest to be able to work. Does it make sense? Because you're so open about this that you're nobody at the beginning. It just no, I love the idea. It just feels one needs to be brave to be also so honest. No, that's a nice way, because then you can be yourself. It just
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun because they get to watch it grow together. And I'll go to bet. I already know because I've watched this happen more than once with this type of, starting this way and trying to avoid imposter syndrome. But you'll find that if you start with pure clarity and pure transparency on, hey, I've never made money before, but I'm starting to make money, and I want to show you and bring you along with this. That is so rare and so unusual that you will actually have people more likely to get on board with you than not. And when you build a content in this way, and you build the community in this way, and you start sharing about what you really are trying to do, that's why I always say when people come to me and they're like, well, what's my niche? What do I talk about? I say, well, what do you want to be known for and why? What happened? What actually happened? Because if you talk about that, people can get involved with you. If they know why you're doing it, then the how becomes automatically important. But if you just talk about how to do something without why you're doing it, it doesn't work the same way, because why are you doing this how? So when you start from a place of complete, get out of your head and into your heart, and you lead as a leader would do, being completely vulnerable to death, if you will, then you're going to build something that you couldn't destroy it if you wanted to. I mean, you will have such a solid foundation, and you will just, everything you do will feel so much more clean. You'll have so much more fun. You won't be trying to like put this persona on that's not real. It is the way to do it.
Wow. No, just yeah, one is very vulnerable if one does that. You're completely right. Wow.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
MK, I would say on, your questions here about, he asked, do you help us set up the course inside of Skool and help build up the Skool community? Yes. And then, and you help build up a specific strategy for each business model. Yes. Because even though, just so you know up front, even though you may have a different business model, if we get into the first principles of business, it breaks down to attract, convert, and deliver. What would change in these things are, per se, an attraction. You can only do really 3 things in attraction. You can pay for ads, you can grow organically, or you can partner with somebody. The other thing is in the conversion side, you're either putting them on an email list and you're following up that way, or you're getting them in a community and you're doing it that way, or you're doing it in person, or you're doing it on a phone. And then once they're in, once they become a lead, to convert them to a sale, it's almost the same thing as converting them to a lead, but you're making an offer that has a monetary entrance compared to just a free entrance. And there's more to what they get on the monetary entrance, right? And then on the delivery side, you're either giving them a service that they're paying for, or you're giving them a product that they pay for one time, or you're doing the hybrid model where you're giving them a product and then you're servicing it. So regardless of what that may be, as far as what you're selling in actual, foot massage or a bottle of whatever, or a digital product, that can all be different, but the fundamentals of it all are all the same.
I understand. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, it's 12:42. Okay, so well, I'm glad we went over just because I came in late and I feel bad about that. Hopefully, after May's gonna be there'll be a lot of candle burning on both ends in May because I'm not gonna build the course any different than I would with you guys. I have the course laid out to build, but I'm gonna build it with you because that's how you actually build a program. It's not like, oh, you could do it this way or you do it that way. The actual real way that you build a program is with somebody. Because otherwise, how are you going to know ultimately what needs to be in there? And when you build it with them together the first time live, what happens then in the second round is you have got now all these people going through this, and then when you go back to reiterate and innovate, then you've got something that you're refining something that was built with them. And then here's the thing that could be written down almost. Well, it should. I mean, it's definitely worth writing down, which is when you build that course the first time, you should build it with somebody. And when you build it with them, you're creating something that is the most powerful element of all, which is people promote what they create. And if they are involved in it, literally being recorded into it because they get to do Q&A at the end and things like that for the first version, you also are having one heck of a reason why they should join. And you have an instant urgency, scarcity type thing because they literally get to be a part of the first version of your program. But then on top of that, you are building something where they are a part of something that they then they will naturally then promote it because people promote what they create. Have you ever, you make something, I don't know if you've ever done this, but like you make something, like you make a table or you make a picture or something. It has such a different, or you remodel a room or something. It has such a different feeling to it because you put your own bits and pieces into it. And, so it's so important. People promote what they create. If you connect people to it and they get to create with it, they not only will promote it, but then there's a significance factor in there, which all humans have integrated into them. They want, significance is a very important mental thing. And then also you have a reciprocity that happens that is just unbelievable. So reciprocity, if anything is the most powerful, it's that. If I give to you, you just have an instant feeling like you want to give back. And so when you create it with them the first time, you get all of those things working together and you build a better product. So, all right, Croatia, Europe. I want to get over there, by the way. I know it's freaking beautiful. I'm excited. So we're going to Hawaii here. Like we're going to be staying out in Hawaii for 2 weeks at the end of May here. So I'll be going live from there and stuff like that. It'll be fun. Yeah, build it publicly. Yeah, absolutely.
You was never in Europe? You visit Europe?
Yeah, well, I want to. I haven't been to Europe yet, surprisingly. I don't know why I've not gotten over there. I want to go over there very badly. But yeah, I'll be definitely visiting those places. And I'm going to be creating my fourth program that you didn't see is Make Once Summit. And that's going to be $9.99 a month. But I'm going to be meeting with people 4 times a year in person. So I'm going to do Europe. I'm going to do, all over the States, obviously, but we're going to pick a different place each time, and we'll just all meet up and we'll get crazy and build stuff. And it's just fun. I don't know what it is about, being together. At that place, when you join Make Once Summit, you're probably going to be doing, more than 50 grand a month at that point. So it's not going to be like a cost, it's just going to be fun. But we just get to cool places. But yeah, I mean, I love everything about Europe. Like I love that. I mean, I can't believe I haven't been over there yet, but been a lot of other places. So all right, well, I hope you guys get in. You got a couple days yet. What's that?
The future will be exciting. I think the future will be very exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It really is. Yep.
Thanks. I'm gonna make a move.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys so much. Sorry for being late, but
No worry.
I look forward to working with you guys. You got a couple days yet to get started, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you
for
for all the
having.
questions. Very good. Thank you.